It is the Riot Podcast. Happy Independence Day observed.
Happy Monday. Happy day after the 4th of July weekend. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend.
Yeah, we did. And it ended abruptly because we're here on a Monday.
I really, really wish. We'll have to look at the calendar. I only care about when Christmas and New Year's fall. Because when it falls on the weekend, that's the worst. Or if it falls like on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times if it falls on like a Wednesday, then you'll take the rest off. And then, a little bit of the week after. So I'm saving up. I'm going big this Christmas.
Yeah. I remember last year, all of the holidays seemed to fall on weekends.
Yeah.
And people were, at first, looking at the calendar, I remember people saying, this is like the perfect year because all the holidays were on weekends. And then, of course, all the holidays got canceled. But I was just thinking, like, we don't want holidays on weekends.
No, I like them during the weekdays.
Ideally, they're on Mondays or Fridays or maybe even Thursdays.
I just looked at the calendar.
What? Christmas is on a weekend?
It's on a Saturday. That's
so
awful.
When is Christmas Day observed then?
Well, it would be Saturday. I mean, we're observing it that day.
All right, think about this. Think about all the money RadioU is saving by not paying us to not work on holidays.
I'm saving up my vacation time. You're lucky to see me this December, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I can't do the show alone, so.
Oh, fine.
I'll just get unpaid because I'm using mine up before then.
You're like, wow, they have the whole month off. It's great.
Well, actually, in the show today, there is a lot of holiday talk of what happened over July 4th weekend because Mark Zuckerberg did a thing. The CDC
did a thing.
Yeah, did it. Or we find out how to properly dispose of fireworks.
Yeah.
After you've shot them all off. Let's see, what else is there? Well, actually, that's about all the July 4th talk. I thought there was more. I must have left that part out. We also talk about the Shark Week is coming up.
It is. We talk about the Shark Blimp. We spent some time in Delaware.
Yep. And I think my favorite part of the show is when we talked about the fight at the Stadium Super Trucks race.
Oh, the video. Yes. You need to watch the video with it. Nothing like watching older men fight with
failed NASCAR drivers
with their super trucks fighting outside the truck
with a steering wheel
and a fire extinguisher.
That's right.
But that one doesn't last long. In the video, you see someone else walk up to the guy and just grab it.
Fortunately,
like, we're not doing this.
he got somebody else got involved to calm things down before anybody was too hurt.
Well, enjoy the podcast for today. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully you have it off. If not, that's fine too.
Yeah,
text
we're
and
right
say
there
hi.
with you.
Text 877 to Radio U or message us at Radio U Riot on Facebook.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Don't say we didn't warn you. This is the worst of the Riot.
I don't remember if it was on the air or not, but on Friday, we got started talking about pizza. I mean, that happens pretty much every day, Nikki and I.
That was on air.
Was it? It was on air that we were talking about the pizza shapes?
No, that was off air.
That was off the air, wasn't it?
Yeah, because someone had sent in a few pizza recommendations.
Yep.
And then off air, we were talking like, hey, and then you brought up, I think it bugs you.
Yeah. I have
the different pizza shapes.
I have a problem with the square. Well, anything that's not a triangle for pizza.
Sure.
And so, of course, I wake up this morning and I see that Nikki has sent me an email with a list defending the different shapes of pizza cutting.
It wasn't defending, but I did think it was funny. It was like, oh, first off, everything's listening to what we're talking about.
Yep, that's right.
Then
How did this happen to come up?
I know. When the article came to me, I was like, oh my gosh. Hudson was just talking about what's the different slices of pizza and like, why do some places do that?
Now, they're really going next level with the listening because this article was just written also. So they were listening to us and then told this guy to write a article about it.
And this is then, now your answer.
Yeah. So basically, we have this man who is just defend. Oh, yeah. His name is Jim Ellison. And he is defending the idea that there are different pizza shapes and they have good reasons for all of them. And and he actually really is incredibly condescending about it. If you actually read, he's like, people from the Midwest can go to New York and see a triangle slice of pizza, and they'll be just like, and it's just nothing to them. But people from New York or the East Coast come to the Midwest and see a square pizza and go on a diatribe.
They never have seen it before.
Yeah, and as if they can't even eat such a thing. And it's just like, man, I don't think anybody's doing that. I mean, who's going to turn down pizza? I don't care what shape it is, but I'm just telling you that when you have a circular pizza and you cut it into squares or rectangles, you're wrong. It's the wrong thing to do
for
the structural integrity of the pizza.
Perhaps certain pizza styles lend itself to certain pizza shapes. So triangles are usually New York style, Neapolitan sort of pizzas. Rectangles, you get Sicilian and Detroit style pizza.
Okay.
Oh gosh, Detroit style pizza is so good.
Well, yeah,
I just
and
want
you
to
have
take
to
a
cut that in a
moment to just
rectangle.
talk about that, but they're saying that's what you normally get with it. Pizza baked in a pan can create a large volume of pizza, and so they're saying rectangular
That's
slices.
what we like, a large volume of pizza.
Offer a lot of crust for Detroit style, so that's why that tends to go into a rectangle. Squares are St. Louis style, Dayton, Columbus, Edge pizzas.
Those aren't styles.
Well, they're saying styles,
but he's just saying that because he's from Ohio.
I think that's probably it. And then center crust pizzas is almost like an old school style pizza.
I don't even know what that is. Is that the one where you cut it down the middle straight through and then you make little rectangles?
Vertically, that makes one horizontal cut in the center. It creates a long, narrow rectangular strips of pizza. Each slice has a section of the crust, which is what they want for the end results.
Yeah, but
that's about it.
A lot of people don't know this, but that's the worst way to cut a pizza. No. Because what you get is a big flop.
Actually, that's
pick
true.
it up. You have to use both hands to hold this little tiny piece of pizza.
And I know they say, well, at least you get some crust with it, but maybe it's not worth it if it's going to be so floppy.
That's right. The cheese is going to slide right off when you pick it up.
Well, how about this, guys? If anybody wants a link to the article to learn about why pizza slices are the way that they are, you can let us know. We'll send it to you. But just know that Hudson is passionate about this because he hates it all.
It bothers me. What is the point of if it's in a square pan, obviously it makes sense to cut it in a square or rectangle. But if it's a circle pizza, why are you cutting it into a square?
You should be writing this into a rebuttal the article for an opinion piece.
This is my rebuttal.
I know, but
Just
you have to write it down.
I'll put it in the podcast. And we'll send Jim.
Hey, Jim, Hudson has some thoughts on your article.
Think of it as athleisure for your ears. RadioU's Worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, traveling is a nightmare. I think the one good thing about the COVID-19 pandemic is it taught us all for at least 1 year we don't need the airlines.
That's right.
We don't need that.
We were in control at that point.
Yep. If we just want to sit around and not fly anywhere, we can do it, but only for so long. And then eventually you have to hit up Southwest again. You're like, hey, I'd like to give you way more money than you deserve.
And they were saying that this past weekend with 4th of July, travel numbers and stuff, mostly driving, but still flying, are back to some of the pre-pandemic numbers that everybody was used to.
Yes, they were busy once again. And one of the things that is the worst about flying, actually, you know what? That's not true. I think it's bad, but it's just one of the many bad things, and it's kind of down the list, is that you can check your bags and who knows when you'll get them. You just don't even know.
They might go on a better vacation than you are.
That's right. They really, you might not, they might take an extra week off from your life. You know what I mean?
But you start to panic, and it is a pain when you're trying to go on vacation and all your stuff was in there.
Yep. Yeah, all your stuff, and the airline rarely offers a lot of help for you. Eventually, it happened to me once coming back on an international flight. They eventually delivered my suitcase back to my door.
Yeah.
Long after I had returned from.
Well, at least you got it, and it wasn't like when you were just going to vacation.
Yeah.
Because they'll give you like a credit to buy stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do that.
No, it depends what it is. If it's just clothes, then that's one thing. But usually you've got more than just clothes in your bag. So yeah, that was. But it was nice that it eventually wound up at my door. Who knows how long after? But the idea now is that the Department of Transportation may at least make the airlines pay a price if you pay to get your bags checked and then you don't get them in a timely manner. You might actually get a refund from the airline, which is only fair. It's kind of surprising they don't do that already.
Hudson, I never thought about that. You're paying for the baggage anyways.
Yeah.
They lose it, so why?
Why would you not get your money back?
Oh my.
Yeah. We've all just been living.
Yeah, we've just been accepting it and being like, okay, well, whenever you think you can get it to me.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't need my money or anything. I didn't pay for a service that you failed to provide.
So they're saying that they're considering forcing airlines to refund customers. Don't consider, just make that.
Yeah, right.
For checked baggage fees, if their luggage doesn't show up, that's one thing, or show up within a reasonable time window. Because they have that when it comes to like your plane's been delayed.
Yeah.
If it's delayed past a certain point, you're entitled to all this stuff.
Right.
They won't tell you that, but you are entitled to it.
You're going to have to get a lawyer to find out.
You're going to have to Google it first just to find out what the rules are, but similar things with your luggage.
Yeah, and actually, if they do wind up doing this, it's fairly significant that they're saying 12 hours after your flight for a domestic flight, or 25 hours if it's an international flight. So that's pretty reasonable. You can go 12 hours without some stuff.
I want a refund, and I would want suddenly the stuff in my bag is worth a lot more.
Yep.
That was all new.
I'd like to get it insured, please.
Yes. I might have had another laptop in there.
Yeah. But I'm glad that they're considering this, and you have to wonder, where does it end?
Yeah.
What other things can they actually make the airlines do that are basic human expectations that they might force upon them?
You just hope that people learn about this. So then that way, if you are unfortunately in one of these circumstances, you know your rights that you have then and what you're supposed to get back.
They have a Department of Transportation phone number. You can just call them up. And
you know what that is?
They'll send an agent.
It's a hotline.
Yes, that's it. A hotline. Yeah.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
July 4th is over. I imagine there's still some folks out there tonight that are going to be setting off fireworks, especially if they had the day off today.
Yeah,
it still feels like a party.
If you sleep enough during the day, I'm sure you can stay up tonight and just use the rest of them up.
That's right. But
much to my excitement.
Whether if you set them off last night, Saturday night, or whatever, you need to properly dispose of them, because this is what, once you shoot off the fireworks, this is what we're all thinking. How can I safely dispose of these? That's right. Am I right?
Well, I think it's like a two-parter, because I don't deal with fireworks as much. Like, what do you do when you have leftover ones that you haven't set off? And then what do you do if you
save those for next year?
Can you? Do you just store them in your garage?
If you keep them safe? Yeah,
okay.
I think. I don't know. They don't expire, right?
I was afraid they just set themselves off.
Check the expiration date.
And then if you do set some off, what do you do with like the leftover parts of the fireworks?
I just leave them.
I think that's the problem. We're not supposed to.
Well, they're biodegradable, right? It's just paper and cardboard.
I don't think it is.
Just let them rot away.
And then you look like that messy person.
They'll provide
not even cleaning up your fireworks.
They'll provide some useful chemicals to the environment, I'm sure.
They say that you are supposed to actually clean them up.
Yeah.
You're supposed to, this article says, take responsibility for them and dispose of them safely.
So first of all, they say you should check with your local city, town, state, county. Just
to find out
your own local laws to see if they are specific. Because that's what we're all doing. When we shoot off our fireworks, we're adhering to local laws. That's the rule number one.
They say that for when you actually set off fireworks, a national average, 42% more air pollution during the 24-hour period of July 4th. Compared to a typical day without fireworks.
Yeah, you can tell.
But they say the other environmental problem is not just setting them off, but also how do you dispose of them when done?
Yeah, because they do have all the chemicals that make it so pretty.
Yeah.
And make it
shoot
up into the air. No, there's a price to pay for that. And I'm sure that ducks and worms and other wildlife are experiencing all the chemicals that if you're like me and just thought you could leave your fireworks lying around,
do it.
The empty shells.
They say that first you're supposed to waterlog them.
Yeah, by Who's doing this?
Hey, it's
for safety.
Every time I have a birthday party and there's like candles, I always stick them in water.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same thing. So if you've set anything off, you're supposed to have a bucket of water and soak the rest of it for about 15 minutes.
Yep.
Leave them longer if you want. Some say up to 48 hours, and then you can throw out or dispose of in the appropriate way the rest of it.
If I soak a firework after it's been shot off in water for 15 minutes, and it somehow still finds a way to ignite after that.
How's that possible?
More power to it, 15 minutes feels like more than enough.
If they're soggy enough, pour the excess water into your toilet and then put the fireworks in a sealable plastic bag. This is a lot of work.
Yeah, well, the chemicals that are in the water from the fireworks, once they're in the toilet, they can't affect the environment.
Well, then you dispose of the fireworks themselves with the bag, but they have to be wet enough.
But the problem is those plastic bags are harmful to the environment. Yeah. So what do?
We can't
do that.
All.
We need to go buy reusable bags from the grocery store, but not reuse them. Just use them once to take out the fireworks.
Can you imagine reusable fireworks and you're just at home like refilling them? It looks like you have this whole big illegal operation.
You know what we're going to do, though? We're going to go to, this is a Shark Tank idea. If you watch Shark Tank, 9 out of the 10 items on the show are now like environmental things of how we're all supposed to be environmentally conscious. And I know that that's a good idea, but nobody's doing it. So our idea is environmentally conscious disposal bags for fireworks.
Oh my.
They're flame retardant.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, they're only $49.99. You get 2, and you're going to need 18 for all the fireworks you shot off.
They're so expensive.
That's how we make the money. And somebody's going to invest.
Because they're so expensive, though, that's why people use like the grocery store bags, the plastic ones. They say once you got the fireworks waterlogged and sealed, dispose of them in your garbage can. Never put them in recycling. And you're like, because it could set all the paper on fire.
Yeah.
No, they just want to remind you that's not recyclable.
Yeah,
so.
That's probably not reusable. They don't want to turn the leftover fireworks into a milk carton or whatever.
Just got to be safe. So those are some of the rules. They say if you have any fireworks left over or from last night, you should stick them in water.
Now you can dispose properly and safely.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the worst of the Riot Podcast.
Well, while all of us were enjoying the fireworks displays set off by our neighbors or our local municipalities, the real fireworks were going down at the Stadium Super Trucks Honda 200. Yeah.
What's that?
It is a, not NASCAR, but some lower level. It's Stadium Super Trucks. You aren't familiar?
I'm not. Is
with
it
the
like
truck racing series?
Okay, so it is trucks. It's not like it's like when a baseball team has like a farm team. It's not like that. It's
the Stadium Super Trucks would be a great minor league baseball team, actually.
Well, minor league
I would totally
car
go to
racing.
those. I want to go see the Stadium Super Trucks in action tonight, taking on the
I know you do.
Akron Rubber Ducks, which is a real minor league baseball team.
So it looks like it's just truck racing.
Yes, it took place in Lexington, Ohio, and that was this weekend. They had a whole series of races, not just the trucks, but there was a whole slew of things going down at this raceway in Lexington, Ohio. Yeah,
is that what
that's
happened?
what the fireworks are. Bo Lamastis and Bill Hines got into a little scrum, our two favorite racers from the Stadium Super Truck series, where it starts with Bo Lamastis. He gets so mad that he takes the steering wheel out of his truck and flings it at Bill Hines like it's a Frisbee. And and he run. Of course, it's like the least cool fight move because he wings it at him and then starts running away. He's already at a distance, but he throws the Frisbee and then completely tries to avoid any kind of repercussions from the other guy, from Bill Hines. But it doesn't stop there because the other guy starts kind of chasing after him. Then he smashes his helmet. But then
I'm
Bo
watching
Lamastis.
the video, this is crazy.
Yeah, but Bo Lamastis comes back They have to stop him. He's got a fire extinguisher.
That he's going to throw?
I don't know if he's going to throw it, if he's going to try to beat the guy over the head with it, because that would be very illegal.
Jeez.
Or if he was just going to spray him with it or what. But man,
well, it seems
all
like
the excitement going down at the Stadium Super Truck Series in Lexington, Ohio. Who knew?
I don't want to be rude, but it seems like they're a little older in this series. So at first, when you watch them fighting, like they're just walking around each other, and you're like, oh, okay, well, they're too old to like do too much. And then when the helmets come off and you're right, the steering wheel starts to be used. Like, hey, they're trying something. They're not going to actually try to hit each other like personal contact, but they're just going to throw everything at each other.
Maybe these are just failed. Like, I don't want to say failed, but they missed out on their dreams of hitting it big in NASCAR.
Oh, this was it.
And so now some of this frustration is just playing out in the Stadium Super Trucks Honda 200.
I had no idea there's even such a thing as Stadium Super Trucks.
Yeah, the series is passing them by. Their car driving career has devolved into a race in Lexington, Ohio, and some frustrations are boiling over. That leads to a steering wheel getting thrown, which also doesn't make you feel the best about the car, does it? If you can just so easily rip the steering wheel off of a car you're driving.
For those cars, they come off.
You think?
Yeah, they always do. I think you bring it with you.
But what?
It does. I think you take the wheel off. What if it just
happens in the race? You don't realize you turn a little too hard.
Well,
you unscrew it, and all of a sudden you're out of control. Maybe that's how this all got started. He got into an accident.
A safety feature. But yeah, they take the wheels off.
Wow, that is... I feels like that's unsafe. And what feature is that for besides to get into a fight and throw the wheel at somebody?
I think maybe so you can fit in the car, isn't
you think?
It? Maybe for some of them.
You said all of a sudden you know a lot about Stadium Super Trucks racing.
No, it's just racing in general.
Yeah.
No. I don't know anything about these super trucks. Or
but you
these
just have
older
to
gentlemen.
Bo Lamastis and Bill Hines.
Had no idea about them, but now their families must be so proud.
Oh, yeah.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
So tomorrow, you go to Chipotle, you can get yourself buy one, get one free.
Is a BOGO for burritos?
Yeah, that's what they should have called it, actually.
I just want to let you guys know that they've made them so small now that technically the 2 equals 1.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, you don't have to, they're saying this is like a friends deal.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to do that. Just get 2 for yourself if you're a big Chipotle fan.
Now, you go in, you make up like you're lying, like you have a friend.
He's waiting outside.
He's on the phone with you.
He's from another school in Canada. You wouldn't know him.
And you're like, he's not even on the phone at all. You don't even know someone. No. You're like, I'm just going to eat both burritos.
Yeah. You're talking. Yeah. Okay. I'll get you. You do want the guacamole? Okay.
Hang on. I'll get your.
Definitely
my friend.
add that on. Yes. So they are offering from 3 until close, and we're talking 3 p.m. just to clarify. 3 until close tomorrow night. Buy one, get one free on entrees. They have to be purchased in the restaurant. And to take advantage of the deal, when you go to the register, you have to say, Friends BOGO.
Oh, this is too much. So you can't use the app or online ordering for it, which is a shame because some Chipotle locations we know don't have enough people working there to make the inside workable.
Yeah, this is just a whole list of things I would never do, even for buy one, get one free. 1, order at the register.
Go in.
2, go inside. 2,
Speak.
Say Friends BOGO. I would never say that except in this break where we're talking right now. 3, go to Chipotle. It's all these things I would never, ever do.
But they want you to. And
they really want you to.
I think they really try to, they want to stress people coming back into certain places.
Yeah.
Online ordering just became, that's what everybody does.
Yeah.
But they want to do that.
I guess that is nice. Every other place is trying to do everything they can to keep you out of the restaurant and out of talking to somebody. And sometimes I actually do want to actually put my order in to the person. And it's actually easier that way. Occasionally, it depends on what it is.
No, they get it wrong both ways. They'll get your order wrong if you talk to them or if you go online.
Yeah, but if I have to put it in on the kiosk, that's what I hate is the kiosk
I don't like that part.
in the store. because then it's like I'm doing the work for them. Like, you're not paying me minimum wage to type this, to put in which tacos I want.
It does work. All right. Now, I didn't know it was this. This promotion is not like a Friends thing. It is meant to support the White House's ongoing efforts to get more Americans vaccinated.
Yeah.
You do not have to be, I don't understand the correlation with it.
No,
you don't
I
have
don't
to be
either.
vaccinated to get the deal. It's not even really about that, but it is a part of the White House stuff with like McDonald's is doing, Panera did over this past weekend, and a few other places where I feel like the restaurants are getting a little kickback.
Yeah, probably.
From offering these things, but that's what they're doing for it.
Yeah, you do see a lot of places either in saying if you get vaccinated, you can have this for free or this deal or whatever, and that all makes sense. Or at least where they're, I guess some places are making cups that say get vaccinated.
Oh, that's the McDonald's one, yeah.
But with Chipotle, it's just like, come in and get a free buy one, get one. And by the way, it's because of the White House. How is that related?
They're just making it work.
I mean, I guess get vaccinated, but you don't have to for this deal.
So it's tomorrow from 3 p.m. until closing. If you want the BOGO for Chipotle, you have to go in. You have to say Friends BOGO when you're at the register. And that's it. That's all you got to do.
It almost feels like maybe they have a quota to meet of if they want the White House, if they want the tax breaks or whatever they get for being a part of for being a part of the vaccine deal. They have to do certain offers, and so this one is like the bare minimum. They're like, we know nobody's going to come in and say Friends BOGO, but we technically made the deal.
The equivalent of someone's lint collection. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Back before the pandemic, when you heard from the CDC, a lot of times it was kind of fun. It was usually for fun things. It wasn't like anything too serious.
It was norovirus.
It was helpful reminders, but they weren't especially, like, you didn't feel like they were really imminent dangers to your life. It's just like, remember to wash your hands if you're out camping or something, and it's just like, okay, we will. It was just lighthearted kind of stuff.
It was very much like, okay, mom, okay, dad.
Right.
But it wasn't anything. Then they had, obviously during COVID time, a lot more things to say.
Yep. It became a lot more serious, and we actually had to listen and pay attention for a while.
And now we're back to the other things that they used to also include.
Yes. It's taken a turn back to, this is the turning point. This is when we know the pandemic's over, because we can go back to laughing at the CDC's lighthearted reminders that we don't actually need. Like this one. They tweeted out, don't swim or let your kid swim if sick with diarrhea. One person with diarrhea can contaminate the entire pool. Learn more ways to keep you and those you care about healthy. We already learned that one. I think we all know that we don't need diarrhea, that we don't want diarrhea in the pool. But what really
sets this one apart,
really hitting home, if you haven't seen, is the GIF that they made with it, where a little girl, it's
like a family in the pool.
Yep. And the little girl sliding down into her daddy's arms, and as she goes down the slide, a brown trail is left behind her.
It's awful to look at. It just keeps going and going and going.
And then
remember, it only takes
freezes.
One person. Okay,
yes,
one person.
One person on the slide with diarrhea, and all of a sudden, nobody wants to swim anymore.
Can't we just go to the pool and not worry about this stuff? I mean, I know that's what's going on.
Not a public pool, you can't.
But you don't want to get sick.
No.
And you don't want to, oh my gosh, to find out if that's why you got sick, because someone was sick in the pool for that, I wouldn't tell anybody. Like, we're just going to keep some private.
In some other cultures, it's very, it's not only do you not swim sick, you take a shower before you get in the pool to make sure you clear off any potential bacteria you might not know about or whatever. Maybe we need to get to that point for the public pools.
Well, we have the showers outside, but people just use them afterwards.
Yeah, that's right.
Off from the chlorine.
Wash the chlorine smell.
Listen, if I don't, it'll change my hair color. Like, you have to wash after, but you're supposed to wash technically going in too. And if you're sick, you're just not supposed to go swimming. I just hate hearing about all this stuff. It's so gross.
I love how the first comment on the Twitter post is, they didn't say we can't pee in the pool.
I mean, come on, CDC. What are you doing here?
Yeah, there's a line, and And if you don't, as long as you don't have diarrhea in the pool, you're not crossing it. It's totally fine.
Oh, it's actually, you know what? Stop reading the rest of the Twitter replies because that is there's a lot of people with some personal stories.
Yeah.
I like this one. I hadn't planned on going to the bathroom in a pool until I saw this cute GIF. It's like when you tell people not to, they're going to do it then anyway.
Now we're going to be infecting the children with diarrhea just so we can recreate the gift in real life.
I know the whole thing. It's awful. But you just can't tell us not to do anything.
It is just A+ work that they put together this artwork for this announcement that we all knew already.
Well, CDC, congratulations on a fantastic campaign.
Job well done. You've really raised awareness.
I want to know the advertising company that got this whole entire package that they got to do. And I want to know how many meetings it was. How much did it cost the CDC, which technically wouldn't that be... How much did we all pay to be reminded if you're sick to not go in the pool?
They, you know what? They did a great job. It was worth every penny because now we're all reminded. We know not to let anybody with diarrhea into the pool.
And now every time I look at the pool, I'm just going to see this little girl going down the slide, sick as can be.
And it's going to remind you, wait, do I have diarrhea? Should I be going swimming?
Anyone can underpromise and overdeliver, except these two. The Riot RadioU.
While we're on the subject of strange, unnecessary social media posts, why don't we talk about Mark Zuckerberg? Did you see his over the weekend?
Dude, that guy can't do anything without people really laying into him. And I think with this one, it might be deserved.
Yeah.
Like at first when I saw it, I thought, it's weird, but it's not the worst. But if Mark Zuckerberg does anything, everyone online hates him. So
he would be, I know he owns Facebook and Instagram, but I really feel like he would be better served if he just didn't use them. You know, like he doesn't, just because he owns them doesn't mean he has to.
Well, he does this, what is it called? It's not surfing, but it's this board that kind of floats through the water.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that is either. I've seen him, like his feet are strapped in and it has a motor or something because it's just propelling through the water and
no, it's no motor. It just goes through the currents and
then
stuff.
How does it float like that though?
It's just the magic of the water. And the money that you have if you can afford it.
If he's doing that without a motor or anything, I guess there's something impressive about this.
It is.
He's surfing on this, what appears to be a lake, I guess, somewhere. And he's carrying an American flag. And then he starts like pushing up and down like you would do on this thing. But it almost looks like he's pretending to flap like an eagle to me. Like he's trying to be extra American, and the song playing is "Take Me Home, Country Roads" by John Denver.
I think that's what people get annoyed about the most.
It's a real he feels like he's almost going full dad mode in this, doesn't he?
So?
Like he's trying to be your dad. He's already got a few in him, and all of a sudden he's out there just flapping away, carrying the American flag, and you don't know whether to laugh or cheer or cry. You don't really know exactly how to take it.
Well, it looks like everybody's also making fun of him because not too long ago I think he was also doing this surfing thing because I guess when you have extra time.
Yeah.
When you have
What's
lots
he supposed
of people,
to do?
He was wearing all this sunscreen on his face and everybody started making fun of him for that. And it's, kind of similar where no matter what he does, if he's photographed, people make fun of it.
It's funny to me, and I enjoy seeing over and over again how just because you're a billionaire does not in any way mean you know what is cool. Because at the end of the day, I just see him out there and he had somebody film this and he was like, yeah, that's cool, post it.
Well, everybody, the response seemed to be, okay, it seemed like he was trying to act normal.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's fine. If you saw someone else do this as a post, you wouldn't be as mocking. It's just because it is. Not. It's just because it is Mark Zuckerberg that you are.
It's all, and it's just all of it together. It's who he is and all the things he's doing and the Take Me Home, Country Roads.
It's just the
and
perfect
it all comes
storm
together to just make it, just like so many things he does in the uncanny valley of weirdness.
You don't like it.
No, don't like it at all. It is.
So I think Hudson's not following Mark Zuckerberg on anything.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't have seen this if it wasn't for the news.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Did you see the shark blimp floating throughout the country over the weekend? If not, it might be coming to an area near you soon.
I don't know why, but I want to see the shark blimp.
Yeah, I do too. I always think it's a weird minor excitement when you see a blimp because it's just kind of rare.
Yeah, you're
somewhat
like, hey,
rare.
You get the Goodyear blimp, and normally I think that's the only one we ever see.
Yeah, I don't know. There's occasionally I'll find one, and then it's just it makes you question, like, what's going on? Is there a special event?
Is there a golf tournament?
Yeah. Isn't that what it's usually for?
It
is. You're totally
in,
right on that.
In our area. But for this, it looks like Discovery changed a Goodyear blimp to the Shark Week blimp. And It looks like a big shark. And that's going to be touring the country through, I think, July 20th.
Yeah.
So it spent the weekend. Delaware got it over the 4th of July this past weekend.
Yeah, I was trying to find a schedule to see if you can see when it's coming to your area and like where exactly it will be. All we know, or at least all I could find, was it initially went from the Outer Banks in the Carolinas to Virginia, and then it made its way to Delaware over the weekend. So now I don't know where it's going from there.
I assume it's going out to the west now.
Yeah,
so maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe it'll head over there. So if you see the Discovery blimp, that's all in promotion because Shark Week is going to start on Monday. Not this Monday, but next week.
What's scarier, seeing a shark in the ocean or seeing one in the air?
I think we know the honest truth would be in the ocean.
That might be one of the new episodes in the Shark Week thing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this is all part of it.
If I'm in a plane, maybe then seeing the blimp.
Shark Week, I haven't checked in on it for several years, but I do remember that it continually seemed to get more and more ridiculous as the years have gone by, to where it used to just be like, look at all this footage of great white attacks. And eventually you could see all of that on YouTube.
Sure.
So then they had to up the ante to make shows where it's like, could a shark fly and what happens if it could?
Are you saying the swimmer guy, Michael Phelps, when he was like racing a shark?
Yeah, he raced a shark.
That's not a shark.
Yeah, and then there's like robot sharks involved and Sharknado. They probably did a thing where like, could that be real? Just that kind of stuff is what I feel Shark Week turned into, with a few shark attacks along the way.
Well, I used to love Shark Week when I was young, but then I realized when things became so streaming that they would just air things that were around for years. So it wasn't really, I remember the disappointment of like, wow, that's like 5 years old.
That's right. When you used to see it as a kid, you didn't know, and a year is a long enough time to make you forget what you saw last Shark Week.
And you realize there's only so many shark documentaries, but I do have Discovery Plus now, and I did see over the weekend, like, you could just, watch all the older Shark Week stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe I'll peek in next week and see what they have.
I think I'll know we've made it if we ever get a blimp. That's real advertising right there.
Well, it gets the eyeballs.
Yeah, that's right. People are going to be looking up and they're going to be wondering what's going on, and then they'll realize it's the riot is what's going on.
Ooh, we could have that.
Yeah.
Or if what's the other thing? If we decide to maybe work with the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Oh yeah,
that's the only two things I feel like you could get some extra promotion talk about.
Skywriter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a good one too. We've got to get some creative work to get the word of the riot out there.
And also, just a heads up, our upcoming fall fundraiser will be lots longer than
a little extra
because Hudson asked for blimp money.
Oh, how expensive could it be?
Oh, I'm sure it's a lot. You're buying that whole thing. And the gas right now?
Well,
what does it do?
Maybe it's electric. It's good for the environment.
I don't think that thing's anything good for
It's Discovery Channel. They would definitely take very good care of the environment.
Of the blimp. Well, let's buy this when it's done with its promotion.
That's right. A secondhand blimp for the riot.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on RadioU.
I have information here, and it's up to you how you use it, but I have information on how you can fake a positive COVID-19 test. And you might be thinking,
why?
Why would I want to fake a positive test? Well, maybe you have to come into work on Independence Day observed and you don't want to.
Too late for us, and I think too late for others. But
there's no one I'd rather spend my Independence Day observed with than you, Nikki.
I mean, everybody else, you might get the morning off, but this would have been good to know. But I'm sure there's other holidays or days off you can take if you need a positive COVID test.
I've scheduled them, whether you know about it or not.
No.
So apparently, if you have one of I think it depends on the kind of COVID test, and you're going to have to be clever on this one because apparently this is happening, but I don't know exactly the scenario of where you'll be able to do this. But if you use soda or certain types of juice to substitute, I guess, for your blood or your swab sample, you can fake a positive COVID-19 test.
Now, can I tell you, when you first told me about the faking the test, I thought, like, in my mind, so we need to put soda up our nose. And so then when they swab it, but this is when you do the test on your own.
Yeah.
I don't know if you put soda up your nose. Will it also work if you're doing an in-person test?
Yeah. And you know what? It's not an idea or not a bad idea.
Yeah. And see.
I think there's some where do they swab? I know they usually swab your nose, and that was the thing where they have to stick it way up your nose. But wasn't there some where they could just like swab your mouth?
There was, like inside your cheeks and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not the ones people.
So if you really drank a lot of Coke, maybe you just coat the inside of your mouth.
So basically,
and it's not even that different from normal.
It's the LFT's at-home test. They say because everybody was wondering, it's not a trend, but like everybody was saying, hey, this is a way for you to get a positive COVID test.
Yeah.
But not actually have COVID. And so they tested it. They did a few drops of soda, and then it looks like orange juice and stuff. And it appears a positive can happen if you do that.
Yeah. I mean, I could get into all of the science because I read through and tried to understand. And the truth is, I don't think I could relay the information to you enough to where I could tell you all the science about why it works. But it works. And they're not even exactly sure, but they think it's something to do with the acidity
of the items.
Because if you have Coke or orange juice, both very, very high acidity to them. So it's something about that makes the test appear positive, even though it's not. So there's an idea for you. I feel that if you're getting an at-home, like self-administered COVID test anyways, you're like, why even need to fake it? You're already at home.
I think it was more like challenge accepted, that sort of thing, because you could just figure out a way.
Yeah.
This seems different too. They keep referencing like younger, like high school, not even into college. Whereas for a lot of people, if COVID, you have the test might affect during the summertime more if you're working, since summer, classes are gone.
Yeah, but it also seems...
if not, in emergency situations, if you need if you're still being offered or if you still qualify for the days off, then
maybe you just want to get the paid time off. We didn't even consider that really. Then exactly.
If you have an at-home test that they'll let you do, then they say you can get a fake positive.
Yeah.
If you use soda or orange juice.
Well, now the information is out there for how you can do the home test and make it look a positive. So now it's just up to you to translate that information into how you could fake an in-person test.
It's a lot of work.
You're going to have to start working on that, and I'm sure somebody will get it.
You keep going through the testing line, and they're like, hey, haven't we seen you already, Hudson? What are you back in for?
I think I have it again. It's a medical anomaly.
And all you have is nothing but open soda cans, like in your car. You're like, no, try it now. Let me see.
You just snort the Coke.
Okay, that doesn't work.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, internet. The worst of the Riot podcast.
Gramrit Hanspal. He's 52 years old. He lives in Long Island, and he's lived there rent-free for 20 years now.
I thought like squatter stuff, because squatter stuff became super popular also during COVID because of just laws of not being able to kick someone out. And people who were squatting in apartments or houses took advantage of that to where I could see that being a a law that would help someone who was truly in need.
Yeah.
But there had been a lot of people who were already abusing squatter stuff before COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And they just kept going with it.
Yep.
But I didn't think squatting was like something that happened 20 years ago. I thought it was more like a recent trick that people learned.
People have been squatting since the dawn of time.
We had no idea.
It's how we all got started living where we did, believe it or not.
Your first squat.
Yeah. So this guy has been squatting for 20 years and living at the same apartment, the same home in Long Island. What he did was he made a mortgage payment 23 years ago, and that was the only payment he made. So he defaulted and it was foreclosed upon, but he has been using the courts and filing for bankruptcy and claiming and just using all this legal mumbo jumbo
every time
to where he's never actually been evicted and kicked out of the house. And so he's been living there for 20 years now.
So he had one payment that he made. He bought the house in 98 for $290,000. So then the ways that he would get around it is he filed 4 lawsuits and claimed bankruptcy 7 times during that. So bankruptcy courts have an automatic stay rule where if you file for bankruptcy and you're going through all those lawsuits, you're allowed to stay in the house until it's finalized. But when you keep filing, then you're 20 years from now, you keep going. And he got like a year and a half during COVID of extra time. So he was supposed to go to court last Wednesday, I believe, or it might have been this week. They were planning on it, but this is what he did again. He got a new lawyer.
Yep.
So that's the trick.
Just at the right time.
Yep. So now the new lawyer can say, hey, I'm new to this case. I need more time. That is what continues this court hearing, and he gets more time in the house.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. To me, at this point, 20 years, I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed.
So what's that thing when, like, you're with someone, but you're not married, but it's been so long? It's
common
like
law?
Common law. So do you get the same, like, you've been in the house for so long? Like, is it your common law house?
Then it just belongs to your family
like,
eventually?
Like, congratulations, you made it this long.
I think the real estate company that owns the house would beg to differ on that one. They bought it and they thought they'd just get to have it. And turns out that they're getting more trouble than the place is probably even worth. And for him, it's totally one of those situations where, I don't know, I guess you could say it's a work smart, not hard situation. But think about all the money that he must be spending on these lawyers and all the time he must be spending to go through all this court stuff.
It's
instead
the
of
cost
just
of
paying,
the mortgage.
Yeah, you would think. I don't know. Mortgages are a lot. So.
Well, he's saying that this is the trick that he does. He'll hire a lawyer the day before the judge is set to hear the case. So it's not like he's using the lawyer to actually do a case.
Yeah.
He's starting it very early in the beginning, where maybe it's like a retainer fee or something. 3 different owners have tried to kick him out since 2000. He's managed to avoid eviction because he'll take all 3 of the owners. He'll just keep filing legal actions to prevent them. So then the courts just keep waiting and waiting. So 20 years he's been squatting in what was his home anyways.
Yeah. He's out-lawyered the lawyers. I wonder if he is a lawyer. You think?
No.
Does it say what he does?
I just think he learned. Maybe he watched he's got a lot of time in his house. So maybe he just watches a lot of shows about it.
He's watched all the Judge Judys.
That's right.
So he knows how to handle this thing. Again, at this point, I just say kudos to him. If he's willing to put in all that work to avoid paying his mortgage and keep living in this little house, then more power to him. Oh,
it looks like does he hoard too? Like he's got a lot. If you scroll all the way down, you can see bedroom pictures and stuff.
Oh, that's nothing.
You sure?
You think that's hoarding? You've watched hoarders.
I know, but
usually there's buckets,
there's buckets
and piles of things. There's boxes and human waste everywhere, and then the TV. Somehow they still always want to find a way to watch the TV. This guy, you can see the light coming in from the windows. That's not a hoarder.
I feel like that's the start of hoarding right there.
Well, maybe by the time he gets kicked out of there.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Not too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's the Riot on RadioU.
Put that chicken down. Stop. You don't know where it's been.
What's worse is they tell you this after your 4th of July, like chicken-a-thon over the weekend. And you're like, I really hope I wasn't eating any of this
now
stuff.
we know what Nikki did over the weekend.
Well,
Chicken-a-thon.
You have chicken or like hot dogs, but if you go to a barbecue, they usually provide chicken as an alternative if you don't want the other stuff.
You don't just come up with a name like Chicken-a-thon unless you've had a Chicken-a-thon.
Hey, I did make wings last night.
Yeah?
I did, but I did not. None of them were Tyson, so I think I'm okay.
Okay, you're safe. This is the CDC has issued a food safety alert, and Tyson Foods is recalling about 8.5 million pounds of frozen cooked chicken products because of possible listeria contamination.
I've heard listeria before, and we all kind of make fun of like, oh, you get like a sick stomach and stuff. But they say listeria can actually be really serious because it's when the bacteria has spread beyond your gut to other parts of your body. So it's like you don't want listeria is even worse than everything else.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you treat this one seriously.
That's right. This one, if you've had or if you have in your freezer any Tyson's chicken, you might want to take a look at that. And then also, it includes some of the Tyson branded products that would be for restaurants such as Jet's Pizza, Casey's General Store.
I don't know what that is.
Marco's Pizza.
I've never had it.
And a Little Caesars.
I've already gotten sick there before.
Right. Maybe it was from this. It's a long-standing thing at Little Caesars.
Well, you forget when they do recalls, so it's Tyson's food, so they're saying they're chicken, but it's not just what you're buying in the store. They also provide chicken for a lot of products.
Yeah,
so they
for
say
all kinds of places.
Hospitals, nursing facilities, restaurants, and schools could be linked to this listeria outbreak.
Yeah, so maybe just go with the burgers, the ground beef for the rest of the week.
You mean no more chicken stuff?
Put an end to the chicken-a-thon.
Would be good. I need to actually have that when things are safer.
Yeah, chicken-a-thon when we can have verifiably safe chicken.
We could do the after show, and if you want to bring a grill, you can bring all the chicken you want.
Last year you probably just cooked out anyway, so it'll be fine.
The Riot Radio U.
This hits a little close to home, and it's something that we've all been thinking about for years, have we? Ever since Amazon unveiled the Alexa, and you have to address it as calling it Alexa. It's like, well, wait, there's actual people named Alexa.
We didn't have that until, if you listen in the evenings with Radio U, she goes by Lex now, but she used to go more by Alexa with JR. And then she had to change hers because of it being too confusing with Alexa.
And it was literally setting off people's Alexa devices if they were listening to Radio U at night, and JR would say, Alexa, and like we're doing right now. But it's not our fault. That is Amazon's fault, isn't it? That they chose a name that people actually have.
Well, I feel like they'd have to go really obscure. Like, I've known a few Alexas. So it's not like it's a name that no one would have. But it isn't as common as other ones. But like, what would they go with then?
Well, Apple... I know there was a few people that had the Siri name.
No one really.
But that was not... See, Apple figured it out. They found... You love Apple, Nikki.
I do.
So you should just be championing. This is a way of Apple distinguishing how much better they are than Amazon. Except you also love Amazon, don't you?
Well, I do. That's it, basically. There's the two. That and Costco. Throw Costco in, you're like, all right, that's Nikki right there rolled into one. And Bears.
Yep, that's it. That's Nikki. Well... there's a whole article here about how Alexas want their names back. And I wish we could get our Alexa's point of view on this. I'm pretty sure it's that she would like her name back.
Yeah.
Because Amazon, they knew what they were doing when they're putting this out there. And the article is kind of funny, though, because it's kind of laying out the idea of this is making people accustomed to ordering Alexas around.
Actually, in this article, it is interesting. They said that when the BBC looked into some of this stuff, that there's been parents who have changed their children's name and switched schools because, especially when you're younger, or adults can bully too.
Yeah.
Everybody at any age can bully. But they say that a lot of people with the name Alexa can be bullied, or it's just always brought up. You're not known as Alexa the person.
Right.
You're immediately thought of and made fun of like you're Alexa, the Amazon device.
Right.
And that leads to the do my bidding if I say your name.
Yeah. And we've all been through this. if you have a certain name that maybe is very identifiable with one. We had a guy text in, this is just the example that comes to mind because he texted in when we talked about it. His name was James Taylor.
Yeah.
And so everybody, James Taylor's an old musician. People would just make fun of him, come up with James Taylor jokes whenever they see him or get to know him. And that's what people do with Alexas. And they do it with everything. But Amazon still could have chosen a different name that wasn't so common. But then there'd just be the one person that's like, Amazon chose the name Riff Raff, and there's one person named Riff Raff. Come on!
I know, you
this
can't be
ruining
perfect.
my life.
They say you can, change your wake word instead of Alexa. You can change it to something else, but
well, why should I change? They're the ones who suck.
Well, for everybody else, though, they say that it is you can choose your device trigger name, but for a lot, and this article just covers a lot of other like C3PO, like other things throughout history that have had a name that just takes over what it is.
Yeah.
And you either make up a name or you're a part of the name and you hate it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that if Amazon had come up with just made something up for Alexa, we probably would have hated it, Well, if they just made up a word.
Then it sounds dumb at first, but
Right.
it's not like they're going to change it now. It's been too long.
No, it's been too long, so nobody can be named Alexa ever again. Sorry.
Sorry to
it's
our
Amazon's
Alexa.
world, and we're just living in it.
Or you're like her, everybody changes to Lex.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.